The video you are about to watch was made for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the content creators themselves and should not be taken personally. So sit back and enjoy.
They are putting you in another lockdown right now, and you haven't even noticed. They learned in 2020 that people rebel against force. So this time there are no mandates. Instead of locking your doors, they're just draining your bank account. Look at the geopolitical chessboard. Wars drive up oil, so you stop driving. Flights double, so you stop traveling. Groceries spike, so you stay home. It's an economic quarantine. You aren't choosing to stay inside. You're being priced out of your own freedom. First, they restrict your movement. Next, they manufacture a water crisis.
Are they really trying to ban classic cars? Apparently, in Minnesota, they are coming very, very close to heavily restricting classic cars, only allowing you to drive from sun up to sundown only on the weekends or to and from a special event, whatever that means. So what is this about? Is this to eventually get us all hooked up to AI cars soon? Or I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh, Mr. President, the gas prices are getting kind of high. Well, at least Iran doesn't. I don't give a fuck if Iran has a bomb. Everybody got bombs. Matter of fact, I hope they fucking use it because I don't want to live in this fuck-ass world anymore where I'm paying $4 for gas.
So Trump is about to take $10 billion of our tax money and transfer it into his personal bank account. The New York Times is reporting that his lawsuit that he filed against the IRS for $10 billion for him and his stupid sons, well, a judge had said this case is probably going to be thrown out because you're actually just suing yourself because you control the IRS. So now they've decided to just privately come to an agreement and just give him the $10 million. So drop the lawsuit and just settle in the shadiest way possible.
Over in the UK, they set up these cameras to charge people. It reads your number plate and they charge them for driving in the intercity areas, something about climate change. And the locals, people were like, no, we don't agree with this. We're not going to pay any more taxes. We pay enough as it is. Why would you do this? So they go around, they're cutting them down everywhere. The police have to admit that they can't keep up with it. They're starting to reuse the parts from old ones, broken ones. The people are winning here.
AI will make it possible to know what every American is doing at all times. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would say that's not AI that's going to do that. I would say now with the amount of high resolution video and surveillance that is built into every street corner, that's how they solve a lot of crimes. Now, if you don't like that...
Do they solve a lot of crimes? Has the,
well, they do.
Really,
they do.
Has the closure rate for murders in our big cities, like what percentage of murders are in New York City or Chicago or Detroit are solved?
I don't track the
pretty
murder
low,
rate.
actually. Yeah. It's lower in this country than
the point is surveillance is a great issue, but the enhancement of surveillance with AI tools is how you now walk through the Dubai airport. And you also walk through some airports here in the U.S. Facial recognition technology has finally got to the resolution using AI's tools.
It's going to run through your data center. There'll be pictures of all of us in your data center.
Every data center.
But, right. So
you don't.
So, but how does that make it freer?
You don't have to opt into that program. By the way, I do it for convenience. I'm not hiding anything.
Well, it's on street corners, as you said. So it's anytime you're in public, your face is being surveilled by the US government. It is,
but I'm not. Doing nefarious things. I'm not a criminal and I'm not stealing any money from anybody. So
the definition of nefarious changes, as you know. I mean, hundreds of thousands of American citizens were sent to concentration camps by Franklin Roosevelt because they were Japanese.
Correct.
So in 1940, it was not a crime to be Japanese. In 1941, it was. So the definition does change, as you know.
It's true. So you could have those concerns, but I ask you again, Tucker.
I do.
No, and I know you do, but I ask you again, and you haven't answered my question. Do you want the insurance policy or not? Would you, with all of the nefarious concerns about AI, which outcome do you prefer as an American for your family? Would you prefer all of us that are developing these data centers put down our shovels and stop while the Chinese accelerate theirs? Would you like that?
Yeah, because I don't live in China. So you can just move to China and compete with people in China. That is what makes the most sense to me. Instead of turning America into China.
There will be $10 trillion from power, AI, factories, data centers, and fiber build-out laid to basically rewire the world for the new economy that's coming. And it's been slowly coming. Like you end up, things happen and you think they're too much, but we're just rewiring the world.
We are going to rewire the world and you are going to accept it. We're not going to consult you about it. We're not going to have a vote for it. No, of course not. It's just going to be implemented and you're going to love it. And you see in the United States, the data centers that have been ramping up, we already have about 3,700, which is way more than any other country on this planet. And you see all the backlash that the data centers are having. Every single city council meeting, there are hundreds of people saying, no, we do not want these data centers. And yet here are the globalists saying, no matter what you think, we're going to implement it. This is going to happen. We are going to rewire the world for the new economy that's going to be rolled in.
A flock camera that scans license plates, and license plates, of course, are registered to somebody who owns the car, and then we know who that person is so that we can track that person everywhere. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't see the big deal. It helps fight crime. And if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be worried about it. What this lawsuit is about, this class action cases in California, that's saying you guys are going way too far with it and you're violating our rights. This data is being shared with other law enforcement agencies and federal agencies, which are out-of-state agencies. And it's like, wow, what's the big deal? Well, you're being tracked everywhere.
That's what it is. 2 words, Nick: mass surveillance.
Mass surveillance.
You go to church every Sunday, or you go to a synagogue, or you go to a mosque, and that's your religious preference. Your religious preference is none of the government's business. Your political events, Nick, you're an independent and you want to go to a rally for the Republicans, and then you're not decided, so you want to go to rally for the Democrats. Well, is this guy suspicious? Why is he going to these different political events? I think that's information that people ultimately, if you sit down and explain it to them, they're not going to like it. And I think that's what this suit is saying.
Yep. Flock, along with everything else, is redefining privacy, where we are chipping away at what privacy is. This data is supposed to be taken, stored, and deleted, and it's not.
Nobody wants that massive AI data center in Utah. And keep in mind, this isn't just any AI data center. No, see, they want this one to be twice the size of Manhattan. And Kevin O'Leary keeps on saying this is about winning the AI race against China. Well, guess what? The US is already the fastest and largest builders of AI data centers in the world. And here's the thing, people in Utah aren't thinking about global competition. They're thinking about their water usage in a drought state. They're thinking about the energy demand on their grid. And here's what doesn't make sense to me. Why are they suddenly building 40,000-acre AI data centers across America now? And before people say we need them for AI, we already use AI every single day. TikTok runs on AI. YouTube recommends videos with AI. Google has used AI on their search engines for years already. So even if someone refuses to use ChatGPT, they are still interacting with AI constantly. Why do they suddenly want this much infrastructure for AI all of a sudden? And before anyone goes and says they're here to help jobs, AI is literally being used as a tool by these companies to replace jobs. This just feels to me like it is something way more bigger that is happening that they're not telling us.
In Indianapolis, police believe frustrations over a data center led to someone shooting at the home of a city-county counselor. Counselor Ron Gibson says he was home with his 8-year-old son when someone fired what appeared to be 13 shots at their front door. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but there was a note reading "No data centers" left on the doorstep. He recently voted in favor of building a $500 million data center in his district. Similar projects have ignited conversations and legislation all across the country.
They are clearly manufacturing end times, just like Bill Cooper said they would do. We've got UFO disclosure. We just had that anything but secret meeting of all the pastors, all of those religious influencers. They're all saying that they were at this super top secret meeting that is clearly not a secret because all they've done is talk about it everywhere. Like it's like the biggest joke, right? So like it's like clearly they want this out there, right? And they're baiting us by saying it's super top secret. But what are they doing? They're creating fear. They're creating end times.
Oh my God, okay? It's a Stargate. These data centers, OpenAI, AI, it's designed to summon demons and aliens from the other dimensions. Okay, keep on going.
A former OpenAI executive said the portals currently exist in the United States and China.
I told you guys, China and the United States are working together on this, okay? Keep on going.
And Sam has added one in the Middle East. He went on, I think it's just like widely important to get how scary that should be. It's the most reckless things that has been done.
Okay, this is it, okay? This is not a science project, guys. It's an occult project. It's designed to bring aliens, demons, into this world. And then you're like, this makes no sense. Actually, it does make sense, okay? Let me tell you how this works.
Well, this will blow your mind. Wells Fargo will soon be authenticating your payments through a microscopic airborne surveillance. I repeat, surveillance. Will other banks be joining Wells Fargo to do the same? And no, it's not a conspiracy because they've already put a patent out for it. Here is Wells Fargo's patent for it. And this payment authentication system is called Smart Dust. So basically there's going to be these tiny little microscopic sensors when you're going in to make a transaction. Here's a visual from the patent documents, and they're going to be released around your body during the time of the transaction. I know, it sounds like sci-fi. And it uses your heart rate, body temperature, blood pressure, breathing patterns, facial recognition, voice signatures, and motion profiles to authenticate payments. And it's being reported that this is for our safety. And if there isn't a 95% biometrics match through all of these via your heart rate, body temperature, etc., then you don't get to buy. The transaction doesn't go through. And our president has put out an executive order that will force Americans to surrender biometric data or lose their bank account, allegedly. So the surveillance isn't personally for us, but for the safety of our transactions. There's the patent number up there if you want to look it up yourself. Everything I've said in this video is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only.
If you haven't figured it out by now, which I'm sure most of you have, our entire government is just one huge mafia who launders our taxpayer money right back to themselves through foreign aid and endless wars. They all hate you and could care less if you suffer and die horrible deaths as long as they got rich. I'll see myself out.
Watch Trump reverse himself on everything on China.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our
He likes
country.
that
China's
word.
taking our jobs, our money.
We've had a fantastic relationship. Such
what is
respect
this?
For China.
We don't want you buying our land. We don't want you taking the land and basically
America
taking
first.
it off the market.
You want to see farm prices drop? You want to see farmers lose a lot of money?
Who is this guy?
Take that out of the market.
There are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard. It's too much because we have Americans that want to go there.
I could tell them I don't want any students is a very insulting thing to say to a country. If you want to see the university system die, take 500,000 people out of it.
My husband and I decided we were done with insurance, health insurance, so we just opted out. And our premium was going to go up $500 a month for a family of four. But anyway, we're like, screw this. We'll just pay cash. I just had a mammogram, and what they charge your insurance, I got a letter that was like, oh, your estimated cost is $800. And I'm like, cheaper than what we were paying for our monthly premium. So I'll deal with it. And I get in here and they were like, oh, this is what the cost of a mammogram is, $1,500. But since you're no insurance, we are charging you $95. But since you're paying cash, you are only charged $75.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, insurance is a scam. It's a scam. Same thing with my, with insurance, my primary care physician, I would get a bill And I would end up having to pay $175 for every visit. That's with insurance. So I'm paying my monthly premium. And then as a cash patient, it's $95.
Well,
I'm so sick of American healthcare. All these idiots that want to focus on immigrants and trans people and all this while they're robbing us blind. Like, this is what you should be storming capitals for. Because what the hell?
How did moon photos appear in newspapers the very next morning? If Apollo astronauts were nearly 250,000 miles away? If signals had to travel through space, across oceans, through labs and printing presses? How did everything line up overnight? And if this was the greatest journey ever taken, why did the pictures feel instantly ordinary? In 1969, photos weren't texts. Cameras used film. Film had to be handled, processed, selected, captioned, transmitted, edited, laid out, printed, bundled, and delivered. That's dark rooms, chemicals, drying racks, scanners, cables, editors, deadlines, and massive printing machines. Yet headlines showed clear lunar images the very next day. No delays, no developing soon, just done. So here's the pause. Maybe the tech was incredible.
Alright, so somebody put into this computer program what the witnesses describe how the Miami Mall aliens move, and this is what it came out with. The movement of in and out of reality, something that their eyes could not easily put together what was going on.
Just in case you guys missed it, Apple's partnering with Israel and they're putting a new chip in the iPhone 17e that is developed in Israel. I want to remind you that this is also the same country that did the Lebanon pager bombings in September of 2024, also known as Operation Grim Beeper. Israeli intelligence stole thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies that were all planted with a small bomb that were intended to be used by a militant group in Lebanon. Throughout 2 days on September 17th and 18th across Lebanon and Syria, thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies exploded in the faces and hands of thousands of people, offing and injuring a lot of people and children. I understand this was a planned attack because it was a militant group that they were trying to get rid of. But at the same time, I will not be getting the new iPhone 17e. Let's use our brains, people.
The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade. And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And in short, the United States has been sold out by people who really don't care for anything but money. I've had all the money in the world 3 times. I had to give it back to keep the game going.
What game?
The game. It's a game. Money is a game. It's only real to the people who work for it. The people that don't need to work for money, it's a monopoly game. It's a game of paper. It's all on paper. I've got a production company, and I've got a recording company, and I've got a mansion in Beverly Hills, and I've got Rolls Royces and Ferraris. I've got everything money can buy, but it's all on paper. Everything's done through the companies and through the tax loopholes, and the people that live on that level, they don't care about the average honest mule that just goes back and forwards to work. They don't care about the children that are in the streets that are thrown out of this upper echelon of existence. And then when all the children fall down into me on my level, I pretty much identify with them because I was a throwaway also. So it goes to the point of, do you really care?
When you said...
And who does care? And if anybody cares, they're considered crazy. I've been 15 years in the nut ward for trying to stop the trees from being cut down, from trying to rearrange a lifestyle of a bunch of people who don't want to change, but they're going to change because the cold wind is blowing.